Absolutely. And I think one of the things that I think a lot of organizations are realizing is that you cannot compete on product on value chain. You need to compete on business model. If there's one thing that everybody is having to do right now, it is to radically transform their business model. I think business model innovation now is going to be the survival of an organization because it doesn't actually matter what your product is. If you cannot transform your business model to deliver that in a different way, and then, of course, yes, all of the rigid structures that we have are going to become problematic because of the massive change in business model that is required. Things like roles, reporting lines, value chains, uh, structures, all of those things are in some ways becoming rapidly redundant. And I think what we need to now focus on is the things that we do know. What is the true customer need? How is the customer need evolving? What are the true capabilities we have? And how can we transform our business models to leverage those capabilities? So in some ways, what a lot of organizations are doing is that they're saying, we will create this delivery chain that can deliver stuff to a customer. Now, all of a sudden, we have to start realizing that it's actually what the customer is actually moving into the organization that is important and how we can work with that. And I guess the other issue that this is doing is it is really questioning what are the boundaries of the organization. You know,
Mm.
today, who is inside and who is outside the organization? You know, when you have a factory, you can say there's a factory with a gate and there's a steel turnstile, and you do a breathalyzer test when you go in, and you put your, and now you are inside the organization. What I think we're finding now is that those boundaries are rapidly just dissolving. You know,
Mm.
customers, service agents, affinity workers, gig workers are all part of the organization. So I do think that a lot of the old concepts that made us feel comfortable, which was probably built on the idea of a medieval castle or a farm or something like that, you know, this is everybody that is inside,
Mhm.
is just kind of falling away. And what is amazing at the moment is although we are hardening physical borders, we are actually seeing a complete, you know, there's no difference between this conversation and the one that I had just before with my colleagues in Johannesburg. There is absolutely, literally no difference. So I
Yeah,
do think
yeah.
we're in for a time of massive, massive rethinking of that language or the organizational language.